Well, I remember that something came out that the black guy.
Yeah,
Was it you
yeah,
telling me
I
the
told
black
you,
guy's
yeah.
not going to be the
Yeah.
FBI agent or the parole agent? Or
Yeah.
whatever,
So what
DCFS
happened
agent.
was, so it was like in a 2-day span. So throughout the week, I forgot when, but if you guys, this was huge on Twitter and socials, and mainly Twitter if you really follow there. But everyone was talking about. It was announcing like every day was like a new casting. They're like, oh, this person's playing this character, so on and so forth. And then they get to they say, oh, I forgot her name, but some lady is gonna be playing the agent. What is it called? Child care agent. What is it called?
DCFS, but I thought his name was like Bob or something. It was something like
So it was like DCFS, and there she was gonna play this role, and everyone's like, you're recasting. His name is Mr. Bubbles.
Yeah, Mr. Bubbles. Okay, that's what it was.
And like there was like a huge, and I was upset with it too. I'm like, it's like no point. And then the next day or two later, they're like, oh, Mr. Bubbles is being cast. Like it's this character.
Okay.
So I don't know if they saw the controversy and they're like, oh, we got to cast
that
someone.
happened with like Sonic because they released that thing out.
Oh yeah.
Like people were
the
like, it's
animation
terrible.
was
They
awful.
literally changed all the animation.
Yeah, and it was perfect then.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I think I didn't like that either. I'm not a fan of. Even though I'm minority, them like changing things, even though that would have been a black person, but like
they're both black.
I was just reading that Cleopatra bombed on Netflix.
Cleopatra. What was that?
It's a new doc. You don't know?
No, the show.
The movie. It's a documentary about Cleopatra.
Okay.
It's controversial because she was born in Greece, so she was born in Egypt, but she's of Greek descent.
Yeah.
And throughout history, there's been fighting that, is she black or is she white? Basically, they say she was just like dark-skinned white person. She was Greek people get pretty dark.
Yeah.
And she lived in Egypt, so she was getting a lot of sun. And they cast her as a black woman in this, and it's got I think a 1%.
Holy cow.
Like a 1% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's wild.
That's the lowest.
That's
can't go any lower
reviewing
than
bombing.
that.
No.
It's like 11. I don't even know if that's review bomb. Like it probably is, but you can't even review bomb that bad.
Yeah.
And I think it's got 11% like actual critic score, so that means it's terrible because they don't ever. The only time they rate movies that bad is if you make a gay joke or something.
Yeah.
So I think people don't like that, and I don't think they need to recast Mr. Bubbles. Or I thought the girl they said the girl who was going to do the voice or play Moana was the girl who did the voice of her, and then they said it wasn't.
Yeah. Regarding Moana, I have an issue with that because it makes sense for like all the older stuff to do live action, bring it back to remember yada yada. Moana is way too soon because it's a totally different animation too,
and it's good. Like
yeah,
like you're talking about the older ones. Like Lion King was kind of ass in animation.
Yeah.
So like, oh bam, we're gonna update this. Aladdin, we're updating.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast, we're updating. And like, so Moana, what the hell does it need to be updated? It's gonna be like, there's no way the live action is gonna look better than the animated.
No,
like no, it's gonna. So I don't get that.
It's gonna
either.
feel weird for certain parts.
You're right, definitely too soon. Moana 2 hasn't even come out yet.
Because I'll say the Moana. The comedy and entertainment aspect is also from the animation style. Like the chicken, I forgot his name, but like, how are you gonna recreate that chicken? And I saw like the Little Mermaid. Ooh, sorry, I had a little frequency in my our feedback in my headphones. But no, I don't know. I put it on the TV. But I remember seeing in the trailers for Little Mermaid, like it's so weird seeing Sebastian and I forgot the fish's name, Flounder. Like they're like actual like creatures and like they're talking and so it feels off-putting. Yeah. Like it doesn't. It's the comedic aspect was favored for those movies and those animation. No, I think it's gonna bomb. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna do great. I don't think they're gonna break even first weekend. I think it's gonna be lower than what they.
I don't know. It might be lower than what they expect. I don't think they'll break even the first weekend.
No, I don't think so.
The first weekend though.
No.
I don't think they're worried about breaking even the first. Disney can like throw all their stuff on the streaming service that you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're gonna make their money back in 3 years with people tuning in and stuff like that. So they're not worried about that. But I don't think it's gonna do as well as some of the other ones because of the controversy. Again, I am a minority person. My daughter's a little black girl, but I don't understand why you're changing Ariel. Like,
I put that
people are just
down.
like, oh, mermaids aren't any race. It's like, you're right, I know that, but they picked one and made a movie. Like, I didn't do that.
White girl with red hair.
If they made, what was that movie with Tiana, The Frog and the Prince?
Oh, Prince, yeah.
The
Princess and the Frog.
If they made
Tiana White.
If they made Tiana White, there would be a freaking uproar.
Yeah.
Like, and I understand she's like the only black prince, but like there would be an uproar if they made a new Princess and the Frog and Tiana was fucking Hillary Duff or somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they would not like that.
No, they would
not.
not.
So I would just say out of fairness, but like I don't really care. I just think why?
Yeah.
Like, I don't necessarily
What's the
care.
reasoning?
If it was an actual like if they would have made a Little Mermaid, it didn't have a movie that they were making out of. They made a new mermaid movie with a little black girl, would be fine.
I was saying, what's the reasoning behind it more than just fitting an agenda, so to speak, or like not fitting an agenda, just making it feel inclusive, just for the sake of it.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I
all
mean?
I think it is. Like, I mean, unless they're telling me they called in 100 people to do the casting, and the one that she was just the only one, and she blew. Then I guess I would listen to it.
Yeah.
But I don't honestly nothing against that girl. I don't think that's it. That
No.
she just blew them away in the audition. That they're like, oh, we have to pick her instead of a white.
She's the best. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I'm not against them changing stuff, and yeah, mermaids don't have a race, but it's like they picked a race. It's like, what if they made Flounder a freaking Nemo?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, would people be like, well, Flounder's not a clownfish, and would you be like, you're racist? Flounder could be any fish he wants to be. Like, nobody would say that, but because it's a black girl being included for a white girl, then it's fine. But if Sebastian was an eel instead of a turtle, it's like you would have a qualm. So that's the same thing. Obviously, they're both people, but it's like it's a big change. Like
it is.
And
same thing with that Mr. Bubbles thing.
And the point of these movies are to tug at your heartstrings. Yeah, my daughter's not going to care. You know what I mean? Some little girl's not going to care. But some of these people like love my wife. Not Little Mermaid, but Beauty and the Beast since she was a kid. Like, not saying if they would have casted Zendaya as Belle, she wouldn't have liked it. But I'm just saying like they have a picture in their head. Like you just remake the freaking movie. If you want to make a mermaid movie with a little black girl, just pick a little make up your own story.
They did that. That's a great point to bring up. Is like they've done like original stories, and Disney has that power to make a story about whoever, however they like, no matter what.
However they want.
And like
make you watch it.
Princess and the Frog
on the front page of Disney Plus.
Yeah,
it ain't gonna do bad if they just keep no matter what. Oh, movie's coming out this day, they'll be fine.
Yeah, because Princess and the Frog is one of my sister's favorites, and like I said, it doesn't matter. But I do agree. It bothers me not so much, but it just annoys. I think annoys is the best way to put it. Annoys me just because it feels pointless. Like there's no like true reasoning behind it, just besides the sake of doing
inclusion. Like Tristan Tate says this, and it's like there's good stories. Like you can make original stories about black people. You don't have to strip stories that white characters had and be like, oh, we're just going to be inclusive. Like that's lazy to me, and I feel like that's disrespectful to both parties. That like, you know what, we're not going to come up with our own story about a black mermaid. We're just going to make the white mermaid we already created black.
Yeah.
Like,
or they do a lot of gender swap. Like I said, Lilo and Stitch was one. I feel like they definitely gender swapped, and they're like, "Oh, just kidding."
Yeah, just kidding. Like they thought nobody was gonna care because it was a man being switched to a woman. They're gonna be like, "Girl power."
I was like, imagine if we'll do Princess and the Frog again. What if it's Prince? The prince was fine, but the girl was a frog. You know what I mean? Like,
stop changing
what's the
stuff.
point?
Nobody. Yeah, exactly. Then it's like that's not the same movie anymore. And I'm sure the movie's gonna be fine, but I'm like, you're messing with people for no reason.
Yeah.